Hey, welcome to the Relentless Positivity Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Martin, and let's just talk about it. You want to? The scale. When I say that word, what does it make you think of? Is it anything good? When you step on the scale, it's easy to get caught up in the number staring back at you, but the scale doesn't tell you the whole story about your health and fitness. It's a part of the puzzle. It's a piece of it, but it's not the whole thing. So let's talk about that. Exercise, especially strength training, it's got incredible benefits that go way beyond just weight loss. It's about feeling better. It's about living better, being healthier, having everyday activities be easier for you. So let's talk about the benefits of exercise beyond the scale first, and then we'll get into something specific we can work on exercise related this week. All right, so stay tuned for that part. Let's get into the benefits. You may know these, but I'm going to reiterate because I think they're so important because we don't get talked about enough compared to the scale. That's for sure. Better mood and mental clarity. Man, if you had those, how much awesome could you have in your life, right? Exercise releases endorphins, which boost your mood and improve mental clarity. It's a natural way to reduce stress and anxiety. Stronger bones. Hey, if you're in your 20s, you don't care about this benefit, but you get in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, this becomes really important. Strength training helps build bone density, reduce the risk of osteoporosis and fractures as you age. Like I said, if you're young, you don't care, but as you get older, this is super important. And then it goes into the next one: improve balance and coordination. Regular exercise enhances your balance, reducing the risk of falls and injuries. Hey, when you're younger, you just stop, drop, and roll, and you're all right. When you get my age, you fall, and there you lay. So you got to increase that balance, coordination to help prevent those falls in the first place. Resistance to disease, improved immunity is so big. It's going to enhance your uh, immune system. It's going to reduce the risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. It takes so many lives every year. And the next one, enhanced memory and cognitive function. A lot of people are terrified about getting dementia and Alzheimer's, things like that as you age. This is going to help. Physical activity is linked to improve memory and cognitive function. It's going to help you stay sharper and focused longer into your years. Don't fall for that myth that exercise is only about weight loss. It's about transforming your overall health and well-being. So let's go into assume you're already all in. You're going to exercise, right? But you've been exercising, but all is not well in the exercise world. Your knees hurt when you're doing squats, your back aches after a long day, or one part of your body just seems to work harder than the rest. What's going on there is something super common. It's come down to muscle imbalances. When some muscles are doing too much work and others aren't doing enough, much like your common workplaces, right? If you ever work somewhere, it's hey, same thing happens in your body because it's going to throw off your posture. It's going to increase your risk of injury and can make your workouts less effective because you're working against yourself. The good news is these issues are super common. They're pretty easy to spot and they're fixable with the right moves. So let's get into the most common ones that I see. Strong front, weak back, aka too much quad or thigh and not enough booty. There's not enough booty in the world. I may edit that out. But anyway, the problem is your thighs are doing all the work while your glutes and hamstrings, kind of the back of your legs, are kind of sleeping on the job. What this feels like if you have sore knees, a flat backside, you feel your thighs burning on squats, but never your glutes. And why is this happening? A lot of it because of a lot of sitting. That's the biggest one right there. And not enough hip focus exercises, too much quad dominant training. So how do we fix it? We're going to add some glute focused exercise, hip thrusts, glute bridges, hinges. Those are great. Warming up, you can start warming up some glute activating moves, kind of get those things rolling before you even get started. I like banded side steps. There's some donkey kicks for that. There's so many ways you can do it. And also, let's practicing hinging at the hips. If you push your hips back and you're feeling it too much in your thighs, you're squatting too much. You want to feel the back, the glutes, and the hamstrings. And if you sit a lot, that's going to be a little bit tougher. So focus on that. If you are old enough and you remember the water drinking birds, that's a hinge right there. The knees are slightly bent, pushing the hips back. That's what you're looking for, feeling those glutes and hamstrings. And the second one I see a lot, a tight chest and weak upper back, aka desk posture problem. The problem is your chest and shoulders are tight and overworked while your upper back muscles are weak and underused. And what this feels like is rounded shoulders, shoulder pain when lifting your arms overhead, slouchy posture. Why this happens? There's too much time at a computer or on the phone, too many pushes like push-ups or chest press, shoulder presses, without balancing it with pulling exercises. So how do we fix that? More pulling. You may have saw that coming. Bent over rows are great. Face pulls, resistance band rows, TRX rows, these types of things. And a way you can help with that, stretch your chest daily, like get in a doorway, put your arms out, walk forward, almost like you're on the front of the Titanic, stretch those out. Foam rolling, those muscles can help. Strengthen your posture muscles. You do wall slides, rear delt raises, anything that kind of opens you up and strengthens those upper back muscles is going to be so important for that. And the next one, tight hips, weak core, and glutes. It's one is gets back to sitting. This is kind of the sitting all day syndrome, is what I call that. The problem here is your hip flexors, kind of the front and top of your hips, are tight, while your core and your glute muscles are weak. And what this feels like, lower back pain. That's usually where that's going to show up. You have a tilted pelvis, which means your booty sticks out, your belly kind of pushes forward. You kind of like that. And it's hard to feel your core working when you're in that position right there. So why this happens, again, sitting for hours and not doing enough core and glute work. So how do we fix it? You probably saw this coming, but you're going to stretch those hips. Go into deep lunges. There's something called the couch stretch. It's really good. Foam rolling is going to help with this as well, but also build up your core strength. Dead bugs, side planks, bird dogs. Those are the ones, a few of my favorites. Strengthen those glutes with glute focused exercise. Some of those we talked about earlier, not just squats, but find some ways to get those glutes working specifically for you right there. All right, the next one that I see is overworked neck and shoulders. You carrying your stress up top is usually where this happens. The problem is your upper traps, the muscles from your neck to your shoulders, they're doing too much. Meanwhile, the muscles that should stabilize your shoulder blades are underused. And what this feels like, tension in your neck and shoulders are tight. Does that sound familiar? And you'll have difficulty lifting your arms without shrugging. So try right now. Lift your arms and see if your traps go up from there. Did it happen? Why this happened? A lot of it's poor lifting form, like shrugging during your workout, sitting with bad posture. That'll start doing those where those muscles, once again, some get overworked, some are underused. So how do we fix? Train your lower shoulders, like things like Y raises, wall slides are great for that, kind of that upper back trap muscles in there. So you want to focus on posture during your workouts. Don't let your shoulders creep up to your ears. I like to tell people we're trying to be giraffes, not turtles. If you think about that, if you've got your shoulders shrugged up, looking like a turtle, push those down and back, stand tall like a giraffe. You want to breathe deeply and stay relaxed during strength training. Don't hold your breath all clenched up and things like that. And some quick tips to stay balanced. Do more pulling than pushing. You want to think rows over push-ups. Stretch what feels tight. Strengthen what feels weak. That's some good tips right there. So you want to train your whole body, not just what's fun or is familiar. And then pay attention how your exercises feel, not just how they look. How do they feel? How do you move? And you don't need a perfect body. You need a body that works well and feels good. Balancing out these muscles is going to help you move better, get stronger, and avoid those nagging injuries that hold so many of us back. Just with a few smart tweaks to your routine, you can go a long way. So if your workouts are feeling off, this might be why. And now you know how to fix it. All right. So that's what we're going to do this week. Pick out one of those and start attacking. Now you can rewind and kind of go through those exercise and what you need to do, or you can reach out to me. You can do that. So instead of focusing on the scale this week, let's focus on getting our body balanced out. And I'll see you next week for some awesome advice that I'm going to give you next week that I have no idea what it is, but it's going to be great. So I'll see you then. Have a great week.